Hi, welcome back to Create and Craft with Katie. Today we're going to do some paper crafting. I love this style of card because you can make it from just one sheet. We're going to be using a paper cutter, my Scor-Pal with some Scor-Tape, a border punch, Exacto knife, ruler and paper of choice. I'm actually using this orange blossom, which is Recollections from Michael's. It's one of their hot buys. They still have it in stock right now. It costs you $5 for the whole paper pad. We're going to be using double-sided paper for this. Now, it's really important that when you pick your paper for this, that the back looks as good as the front, because we are going to actually be folding it where we can see both the front pattern and the back pattern. So I have chosen my paper and I have used my paper cutter to cut the pieces for the sides. Now these are 6 inches by 9.5 and we have 2 of them. The back piece, which will have the sentiment, is 6 by 6. I chose this sentiment out of the same paper pad and I'm going to make it pop up, and for the pop up I have 2 pieces of cardstock 2.5 inches by 2.5 inches. All of the directions will be in the description box with the exact measurements for the score lines, but you will be able to follow along with me. Now for the side pieces, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a decorative top to it. Now for that I use my score mat, and from the back I am going to cut at an angle. Now you can use the measurements on the score mat, and I'm going to cut from 1 inch, make a little mark just here, and I'm going to cut with my ruler from the 1 inch diagonally upwards till it reaches the top. I'm just going to simply cut with my Exacto knife. Then I'm going to look at my other piece and I can see that this is the piece that's going to be the opposite side. So this time I'm going to make my mark at 1 inch here, and I'm going to take it from the corner down to the inch mark to here. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use my border punch to make a decorative top. Now these have markings where you will line up your paper to make sure that when you punch that everything lines up. So you take your paper, this corner here is going to match up with this piece just here, and then make sure you slide it so that it sits flat, because remember you're working on an angle, that it sits flat against the top of the punch. You make the first punch mark, move up until it matches on this side and punch again, and then you will repeat for the whole top, and you'll do that on both pieces. Now the punched edge is obviously optional. If you don't want to use it, that's entirely up to you. A straight edge looks just as good on this trifold. So we are now going to take the straight edge and we're going to line it up with the top of your Scor-Pal. You're going to take your score tool and you're going to score at 3 and 6 and 9. So it's going to give you 3 panels of 3 and 1 flap. You're going to do the same on the other, but because it's going to be reversed, you need to do the scores on the other to make sure that your 1/2 inch is on this tallest end. So you're going to score at 3, 6 and 9. Then you add your score mat back into the Scor-Pal, and you're going to burnish your folds. Now this flap here at the end is where we are going to attach the back panel. So this piece needs to be folded outwards. So we'll fold it and score it. Then this piece is going to go in the opposite direction, and the final piece that's here. So this is why you see that you're going to need to be able to have both sides visible. So you're then going to repeat with this one. Giving you two pieces like this. Then the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to attach the back panel to these flaps. So we're going to just simply use a piece of Scor-Tape. We can go all the way over because the 6-inch piece is the same height as the front panels. This is the 3/8 inch Scor-Tape. Now I like I did in previous projects, I like to just press down with my score tool all the way along the Scor-Tape, because then when you take the backing paper off, it makes it much easier. You're then going to line up your back panel with the fold, and repeat with the other piece. I'm going to end up with a tri-fold. You can always re-burnish pieces to make them fit. And then we're going to work on the sentiment. Now, dependent on what size sentiment you use depends on how big a piece you're going to use for your pop-up part. The difference will be the depth of the sentiment. The actual folds to make the pop-up are the same no matter what size sentiment you have. You're going to take the 2.5 across here. You're going to score at 1/2 and at 1 and at 1.5. And you're going to, this piece is going to fold, well, actually this is the opposite to this one. It's going to fold inwards, outwards, so your peak and valley. So you actually end up with two pieces that are a mirror image of each other, because these are going to form the pop-up part for the sentiment. So you're going to use your Scor-Tape. You want one piece on the outside 1/2 inch flap. This is the piece that you're going to attach to the actual back of the card. And then you want to add tape to the inch flap, which is the piece that's going to sit on your sentiment. Obviously, again, this is optional. You can leave the card as it is with just a double tri-fold, but I like to add something else, and considering that this paper pack came with sentiments already in it, it made a much easier job. No need to go and get stamps or stickers or print anything out. So you're going to take the Scor-Tape off of the 1 inch side, and you're going to line it up on your sentiment. So you'll be able to see that the pop-up piece will be behind it. And you're going to do the same on the other side. lining it up so that you have the piece that will make your sentiment rise up when you open your card. So then you're simply going to take the completed card, you're going to take the edges and remove the transfer tape on these pieces. I like to fold mine in, just use a little bit of finger pressure to hold it in so that I can line it up exactly where I want it to be. I'm going to put it at this top section here. Use my score tool again, pressing down. It's going to burnish the folds, and it's going to also make sure that the Scor-Tape fastens on properly. I leave space at the bottom because this is where we would put a sentiment, a panel for a message. And you'll see now that you have a trifold card, but when you open it up, you have a raised up sentiment in the middle. So this card is actually for the Scor-Pal More Than One Score June challenge, which is, the challenge theme is warmer days. You can do a summer project, you can use warm colours. I thought that the oranges were perfect for this theme. This card will actually fold flat enough to put in a 6x6 envelope. You can embellish it more if you like. You could perhaps put a belly band on that will hold it down. You could add more sentiments on the front of it or on the inside. It's just a really easy card. Took what, 10 minutes to make it, but it's well, a little bit more than your ordinary fold. Anyway, I hope you liked this, and I really hope that you will join in our challenge this month. All the details will be in the description box. Thanks very much, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and come back and see me again soon when I have some more projects for you. Thanks very much. Bye.